I think we're live.
No, we're definitely live.
That's very good. It's very good. It's very good. We're just going to quickly check how all the streams are coming along. Is everyone happy? Is everyone streaming? Are we all live? Are we all here? Yeah, I can't see us in the group. Shared to the group. I can't remember. Yes, you can. Bear with us, folks.
Let me get it out on the radio as well.
Yeah, you know what it's like. I mean, we're live right now. That's what's most important. So I'm glad you've tuned in. I'm glad everyone's joining in. Please join us. I'll quickly drop it in the group here just so everyone else can see it as well. And we're on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. No stupid questions. Welcome to No Stupid Questions, episode 2. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, members and friends, good to see you all. Thank you so much for jumping into the stream. I think there's people starting to jump in. There's one person watching along right now. It is 4 p.m. We don't normally broadcast this early.
Yeah, I was surprised you did it so early.
What
have you got for dinner? You got something nice for dinner, don't you? That's why you're at home now.
I just want to leave work at a normal time for once. We don't have a work-life balance is one of those things, isn't it? I think we're on the gram.
Yeah, we're broadcasting.
Yeah. Which is very good news. Very good news. So just checking that we're all coming in nice and live. I'm not trying to, but you know. It's live. No, if we watch it at the same time as broadcasting, we just take a 20-second echo. Okay, well, I think everyone's coming along nicely. I think everything's starting to work. People are starting to tune in. Okay, cool. Let's get going. Rather than talking for 2 minutes without much going on, welcome to No Stupid Questions, episode 2. This is a format which we're going to do live. We might do some pre-records of this in future, or we might do some lives. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a new one.
Just giving it a go. Yeah, seeing it go. The whole point is that we ask you to submit your questions and then we give our answers. And they're all whiskey related. They're all society related. They're all membership related. They're all spirits related. And we'll do the best we can to answer those questions. Give it a go. So we might just launch straight into it rather than just talking about it all the time.
Sometimes they are hair related too, though.
They are. I'm going to go from the time they were submitted. So the earliest first of these new questions. So number 1 comes from Rowan Hitch. Good day, Rowan Hitch. Good to see you. Has Australian SMWS releases finished? I'm assuming you mean like Australian whiskies bottled by SMWS. I mean, no. I mean, not finished. No. I mean, we've just, it's just on a hiatus at the moment because we've just really there's a lot going on. There's a lot of really good Scotch, American, Irish, Japanese whiskey going around at the moment. So we go, let's just focus on what we do best, which is Scotch whiskey. And so it's not finished. It's just on hiatus at the moment. Whilst I think I think Australian whiskey is in a bit of a sort of a funny place at the moment, and I think it's just a matter of playing it by ear and doing what we do best.
Yeah, finish is very definitive. So
yeah, it's not finished.
It's definitely not finished.
No,
just
no.
As Matt said, a hiatus.
Yeah,
you'll definitely see it in the future, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, just not at the meantime. But I mean, never say never. But just other things always happening. Let's go to question number 2. Out of the 3 SMWS HQ staff, who would be most likely to win an arm wrestle? That was submitted by Whiskey Is My Jam.
You want me to take this one?
Yeah. Do you want to take this one?
I'll take this one. It's probably Matt because Matt does lift.
But we've never arm wrestled. I don't think we've ever arm wrestled in the office.
No, we settle our differences another way. We play Nintendo Switch.
This is true. It's now out in the open.
So if someone wants to ask a question, who's more likely to win in Super Smash Bros? That's a very clear answer. So
that's a very grey answer. It's a very grey answer.
Someone asks it.
Yeah, until someone asks that, we can't reveal the answer to that one. No, we haven't arm wrestled, but maybe we should, so we can definitively answer that from Whiskey Is My Jam. Good question.
Thanks, Mr. Jam.
Someone else has asked, aka Mark Teague, he's actually submitted this as Mark Teague and Whiskey Is My Jam. Are there any more broken down 48% style whiskies likely in the horizon?
Yes.
I think it's just one more at the moment. It's a code. Can we say the code now?
Yeah, I think so.
Code 11. We've got a code 11 coming through, Distillery 11 coming through as another 48% product trial for members review.
Yeah, because they are for members review. So before it becomes a more frequent thing. We just want to see how
people like it. If they like it,
global.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it. Just as sort of maybe, you might see 1 or 2 a year come through or something like that. So I mean, the last one, the Slippers and Chill, sold out in a flash.
Well, it was less than a day. So
yeah, less than a day,
like a few hours.
Yeah. So maybe, if obviously it's a good sign that people want to see that stuff. So,
and we'd love to see what you guys thought about it if you did grab a bottle. And, should be receiving yours any day now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. This is a great one. This was submitted anonymously. Based on what sells the most / fastest, could you give us a 30-second answer outlining what types of whiskey SWS Australian branch members like and don't like? That's a really good question. You know what? I'll just start us off by saying I think really what appeals most is in whiskey in Australia, for Australian drinkers of whiskey, I should say, is similar to what we see in Australian wine. Is that we find that Aussies generally like more bold flavors, Australian wine, for instance, is often quite bold and big Shiraz, big Cab Sav, all that kind of stuff. That whereas like if you look at French wine or Italian wine, that's quite light and quite tropical, and so I think that it mirrors that in Australian drinking palates generally. People tend towards the heavier sort of deep, rich and dried fruits, or
your big sherry bombs and sort of super chocolatey, spicy and sweet drams, and then I think you just said peat bombs.
Peat bombs. Like big peat whiskies, really smoky big whiskies.
Sherry peat.
Yeah, peat and
sherry is a great combination.
Sweet and smoky, however you want to say it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I hope that answers your question. That was a good one. But what they don't like, so that's the other half of that question. What members don't like?
I mean, your sort of lighter floral stuff tends to be
a bit slower.
Yeah. Although we'll see how that goes now with the new flavor profile. One being fragrant and floral, which is nothing like the previous Young and Sprightly, which was a bit of a slow mover, such as Light and Delicate from the 12 flavor profiles. But fragrant and floral has already proven that it's not like them and is already moving a bit faster than usual. But compared to the other bolder flavors, definitely would be a slower mover in comparison.
Very good call. Very good call. Shall we move on? We're plowing through these. This is good. I'm going to take one here. Okay. How much better is the whiskey if the cask it was matured in was 70 to 80 years of age? Asked by the Joker. I hate this question.
Better than what? What's the baseline here? Like a 7-year-old whiskey?
No, but the question is if the cask is 70 to 80 years of age.
Okay.
The wood. Not the whiskey, I think. The whiskey, if the casket was matured in, was 70. Yeah, you know what?
Okay.
I hate that question. I think that's designed to rile me up. But
is that like if the tree was 3,000 years old and then used to mature whiskey in it? Go on, Matt. Take this question.
I mean, this is the thing. It's just designed to. This question was designed to piss me off.
Well, I mean, the person who submitted it was called the Joker.
Yeah, I get it. It's irrelevant is the real answer. It doesn't really it doesn't taste any better if the cask was a virgin oak or 100-year-old oak or 200-year-old oak. And I think calculating that as a number is about as useful as calculating ppm and printing it on a bottle. It doesn't really tell you anything about the whiskey. It doesn't tell you anything about anything to do with it at all. We have there's one distillery that openly flaunts their ppm, and it's a marketing ploy. It's a very good marketing ploy, but I still think it doesn't tell you anything about the flavor of the whiskey. And I think the same with age of cask. What a frustrating question. Let's go to one. There were some questions that came in that couldn't fit on the screen. So we'll go to a couple of those. Now, this first one here, you know what? What have I done here? What have I done? This first one was from Andrew Moat, who's asked the question. He said, if marketing has become critical to success in the whiskey industry, why is there so little on the internet about some of our favorite off-Broadway distilleries? My favorite distillery has a Wikipedia entry that's less than a couple of hundred words, and there are a few other articles online. If the walls could talk, even the workhorses would have some brilliant tales for the brand and marketing teams of these big companies. Andrew Moat. Brilliant question. There's two sort of answers to this, but I want to hear Adam's take on this as well. But there's one of them is, marketing has become critical to success of the industry. There's very little on the internet about some of these distilleries, however, because there's very little to write about. they often sort of went through tumultuous times of early, setup, and they were always then became sort of relegated to UDV or Diageo sort of, workhorse status and being providing for blends. And they have a small number of staff that work there, somewhere between 1 and 5 often, and it's just a, it's a way for them to build malts for their profile. But there's not much of a story behind it. And if you think that there's really good marketing teams at these huge companies on how to tell these stories, there really isn't. And they're pretty uncreative with this stuff. And that's why indie bottlers do so well with it. But anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I think you covered most of what I was leaning towards, but also I'll just add, depending on the distillery, if there's no OB release, then I can't see what that comment is, but I'll wave hello. If there's no OB release and they're selling to blends or independent bottlers predominantly, then there's no need for a marketing team. What are they going to market exactly?
They're going to create their own single malt brand that no one buys. I mean,
yeah. And if they do have a single malt brand, then I'd hope they have a marketing team. But I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to assume this particular distillery you're talking about maybe doesn't have a single malt.
Let's use Balmenic as an example. Let's use Distillery 48. I mean, we pioneer that distillery through their releases, but they don't have a single malt. They don't have a brand. They don't have anything. So it's like.
Also, as Matt said, if there are no actual stories to tell the distillery, then I mean, you don't want to make something up. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot distilleries are more or less. They all do the same thing.
They're industrial workhorses. Yeah, I mean, they're industrial sites.
Unless there's you've got
sites.
A famous character who has become famous because of a famous distiller that has had some great stories and times, or a really iconic release to it that can really build the lore of that distillery. It's just distilling spirit at the end of the day. But I think it all draws back to, if there's no single malt release, then there's definitely no need for a marketing team.
Yeah,
it's just a warehouse.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Andrew. There's another one here, which I found it's quite a long one. I'll throw it up on screen right now. But Mick has said, I've taken interest in casks and have learned that there are a lot of risks associated with ownership, etc. That's true. What stops a distillery or independent bottler manipulating cask characteristics by sideloading a cask with a few bottles of fortified wine when no one is looking? Is this where bottled and bond comes into play? I work in a remote part of the world where whiskey choices are very limited. As a result, I've been known to drop a few shots of Tawny Port, Malibu rum, or brandy into a basic bottle of Jameson's to give it a better/drinkable flavor profile. Good on you. What stops this happening on a bigger scale? At the end of the day, whiskey is a ruthless business, and casks are unimmune from those who lack integrity. That's a very good call. That's a very good question. I'll just start by saying, yes, you are right. There are a lot of risks associated with ownership of casks. But what stops a distiller or bottler manipulating with additives or other wine products and things like that and still calling it whiskey when it's not? This does happen more than you think. It's just most of them don't make it to market, or they get called something else, or packaged as something else, or sold off as something else. You can't call it whiskey in most countries unless it's,
So basically regulations and hopefully a moral compass on the staff's
and testing
side.
and testing. Like you can there's so many good tools now to test what's in a product, and you can dip a metal rod into a bottle of whiskey and see exactly what the ABV is and what the base product of it is. Or I think Melbourne Uni and I think West Australian Uni both have a gas chronometer, so they can test spirit. Even that's in little old Australia, let alone where most whiskey is made across Scotland and Ireland and America. So, yeah, I mean, you'd be, if you got caught doing that, and if you were adding, port wine or additives or sugar or something to your whiskey casks as a bottler, you wouldn't last long. That's the other thing. You'd lose integrity very quickly as soon as someone goes, that tastes a bit overly sweet, or that tastes like someone's added something, and you lose sort of in faith and trust in that product pretty quickly. So I mean, that's why it doesn't really happen. You'd be destroying your business pretty quick. I think as a consumer though, if you're adding things to your bottles and jazzing them up a bit, I think all the power to you. If you're able to create a product that actually you like and you enjoy at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Well, as soon as you buy it, it's your own, so you can do whatever you want with it, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good question though, Mick. I really like that one. But I hope that helps. Yeah, I mean, you'd be destroying your reputation if you did it any other way. All right. Now, there was one more. Yeah, here we go. What whiskey marketing tropes make you angry? Mark Koch or Coke asked that question. Mark, thank you so much. What whiskey marketing tropes make you angry?
I feel like more make you angry
than
they do me.
There's some though. There's definitely some. Do you want to start off? Do you want to start off with that one?
I can't think of any at the moment. I'm trying to think of. There's definitely been some in recent times.
Age of Cask. We just talked about that before.
Age of Tree.
Age of Tree. There was a distillery who shall remain nameless who I get their marketing emails and they said, the tree of which this cask was made was 455 years old. That was wild. And I felt like replying to that email saying, can you please also chronometer the carbon date the soil that the tree came from? I'd like to know how many millions or hundreds of millions of years that that tree came from as well. So because some distillers, especially I'll say it, some local distillers are very good at putting any number they can on a bottle that's not an age statement. But like, they'll say it's tree's 455. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sneezing live on camera. I don't think I've done that before. There you go. So yeah, I think that's one marketing trope that really gets my gets my gears, grinds my gears.
Yeah.
That's the quote I was looking for. Another one. Oh, I mean, the bastardization in marketing language of craft and small batch. Those words don't mean anything anymore. They're just
except for when we use them.
Except for when we use them. No.
Well, we don't use craft, but we use small batch because we genuinely have small batch single malts or blended malts.
That's true, yeah.
Which are legitimate.
It's like, it's 300 bottles worldwide. That's a small batch. That's But when you see, the words small batch on the front of a bottle of Jim Beam, you're like,
It's only limited to 75,000 worldwide.
Yeah, 75,000 per dump. So I think words. they don't really carry any meaning. And a whiskey producer, and then there's craft whiskey producers. No, there's not. There's just whiskey producers. And it's funny actually. Some of the craft whiskey producers, some of the ones who've said they're craft, are often way more commercialized and industrialized than the non-craft ones. Anyway, that one really gets me going. I think that's a load of nonsense. What's another marketing trope? Makes me angry. Angry is a strong word.
I don't know if it's a marketing trope, but I feel like it doesn't really make me angry. But sometimes I see and I think this is pointless. I guess it's more tradition, but when bourbons talk about the proof a lot, it's like I don't think that really matters anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
also, aren't there two different types of like proof measurements?
Well, there's US imperial, and but like there's. Yeah.
See, what's the point? Just tell us the ABV. That's genuinely all that matters at the moment.
But that's like, it's a bit like people saying, I want to know kilometers per hour versus miles per hour. It's like one's American and one's rest of the world, I guess. But I mean, your proof thing is right, though. I mean, that one for me, what baffles me is there's this trend in American whiskeys that if they're higher proof, they must be better. And it's like, why? They're just stronger. They're a lot stronger. And I like cask strength whiskey, don't get me wrong, but that's a funny one. That's a real strange one. The marketing tropes. I mean, we've already been through the no age statement era of whiskey. That's that comes in waves. That one, I didn't mind that too much as a marketing tool to sell whiskey, to be honest. I don't know. I'll keep thinking about that. But I think we've named at least 3 or 4 that are crucial. Was there any other questions that came in? We had about 8 or 9 come through. No, I think that was pretty much it. That was. How much? Yeah. There's some great questions coming through. This is no stupid questions. Oh, there was one more. This is the bonus one. It wasn't a question asked of us, but it was a question asked of a colleague of mine in the whiskey industry, who I'll just throw his one up on the screen real quick now, which was something like this. Here we go. Am I getting it right? So this one was how do I I can't even read that. Anyway,
just zoom in.
No, I've already zoomed in. I've zoomed in
because you got a little mouse. Like
yeah. No, look, this question that you can see on the screen right now is an example of someone who's was working as a ambassador for Glenfiddich, and he was hosting a tasting with the 12, 15, and 18-year-old Glenfiddichs, and someone asked, "What does it taste like if we mix all 3 together?"
Probably like whiskey.
and I was like, well, of course, the real answer is, well, his answer was predominantly the 15. And I said, well, you should have said, well, so you just made a single malt or triple malt, and triple's better than single.
That's true.
So it must be better.
Oh, actually, there's a marketing trope.
Yeah.
Double malt.
Double malt. It's still a single malt, but it's double
No,
malt.
it's a double malt.
Yeah. It means you're getting twice as much value out of each bottle.
It must be better.
It must be better. There's so many marketing tropes in whiskey. We could just do a whole episode on that one. It's been a real pleasure having this little session, Adam.
Thank you.
No Stupid Questions, episode 2. That was easy.
Stay tuned for episode 3.
Episode 3 will come through soon. Keep the same link. We're going to keep the same link. You can keep throwing questions into that. We really love the questions coming through because we then get to.
Have you got the link to throw up?
No.
Okay.
We'll put it in Discord and Facebook and stuff, so you can and Instagram and stuff. So you can see it later. But until next time.
Till next time. Thank you.
See you soon. Okay.